Hold on to the tablecloth. Thank God, most of us, besides Menachem Ish, are Yankee fans, because this Sheva Brachos is really over already. I don't know what I'm doing up here. But, you know, when the Yankees game is over, Frank Sinatra still sings, so I'm going to sing. Hi everybody, what a beautiful wedding Sunday night. As to tonight, I did the cheshbon. 63 restaurants in the 5 towns to make a Sheva Brachos, but the powers that be made a decision that we should all live in bizarre worlds, made famous by Jerry Seinfeld. For all of you who don't know, Seinfeld's bizarre world is kind of like a world that runs parallel to a different world, but with certain twists and opposites. So last week, Sheva Brachos, same chevra, at Gray's, 7 p.m. This week, Bizarro Week. Sheva Brachos, same chevra, at Gray's, 7 p.m. But, last week, Dubin, this week, Eisenberg. Last week, a boy from the chevra, this week, a girl from the chevra. Last week, overdone chocolate souffle. This week, Elizabeth has assured me, underdone apple strudel. So, last week a theme of tennis. This week I'll try a theme of baseball. You see, I've noticed that these Sheva Brachos, the speakers often are subtly vying for position. Who's the real old-time friends, the OGs, and who's the Johnny-come-latelys? Like, for example, last week, some speakers were discussing knowing the Dubin since 2010, since 2000, till Srulowitz came in with that winning shot. University of Pennsylvania. Game, set, match. Columbia? So let me try my way at this. I'll start like this. I know Jeff since 2009. He heard I was friends with the head of a baseball game in Queens, and I had landed 2 spots at the game. I play a little baseball. Can I have the second spot? Jeff asks me. So I gave it to him, and we went to the game together. Always trying to have a fair matchup, they put me on one team, Jeff on the other. I go 1 for 5 for my team. Jeff goes 7 for 7 for his team, completely lopsiding the whole game, as Jeff's team annihilates us like 9-0. My friend, the head of the game looks at me, Ellie, what the heck, you brought me a ringer? Turned out to be a fluke throughout the season. Jeff did not bat 1,000, he batted 875. At the end of the season, I asked him, Jeff, what's your secret? His response, Ellie, I hit the ball between the fielders. Oh, thank you so much, Jeff. I thought you were supposed to hit it at the fielders. Reminds me of those years of news interviews when Jeff was bedbug king of New York. Barbara Walters, or whichever news reporter would say, so Jeff, what's Pest Away Incorporated's secret? Barbara, we kill the bedbugs. Thank you, Jeff, because all the people watching the news thought they were supposed to lay eggs all over the house.
Could be he did that too.
Then Jeff does the same thing with his book. Yeah, I got it right here. The Bedbug Survival Guide. The only book you need to eliminate or avoid this pest now, by Jeff Eisenberg. Oh, this is absolutely amazing. Eliminate my bedbugs. So you start reading the book, pages and pages and pages. The biology of bedbugs, the behavior of bedbugs, the sociology, what schools they go to, what they do for fun, where they go on vacation. And you're reading, waiting with bated breath. Can't wait. What's going to be the solution to get rid of them? And we get to the end, the punchline of the book, eliminating the bed bugs. I read you straight from the book now, final chapter. Part 2, treatment. How do I find the right exterminator? That's why I bought the book. That I shouldn't need to hire someone. As the Yiddish expression would say, hire an exterminator. That I could have also said. Let's take it back further. I know Jeff from 2006. Started davening together at CTZ. Unfortunately, he left us in 2013.
Now he davens with me.
Why did you leave, Jeff? Well, at CTZ the population is too small. I want to daven at a big shul, Yil. Ironically, right after he left, the population of CTZ exploded, increased by 138. Yeah, that's right. 2 new men, one new woman, 16 new mice, and 119 new crickets. Off the record. Jeff, please, I'm begging you, come back to CTZ. It's a disaster. Flies in the soup I can handle, but crickets in the cholents. At this point, Rob and Dan are like 2006, piece of cake. We know Jeff from the late 1990s, Upper West Side. So here comes my home run. Rob and Dan, we all know Jeff from childhood. A whole beautiful ever. Late 80s, early 90s. Vacation Village. That's right. Me, Shlomo, Ari Cohen, Jeff Eisenberg, Chaya Shayowitz, Beth Wolfson.
I don't remember Jeff at all.
Now granted, we didn't know of each other's existence. But we were a great group, and we never got into one fight. And by the way, during those years, Jeff brought home the Orthodox Bungalow Baseball League trophy for the Vacation Villagers every year. And this statement I'm about to make is just for the Vacation Villagers here. You guys know Jeff would have brought home the volleyball trophy also, except Jeff was Shomer Shabbos. Bottom line, Dan and Rob, we are the OGs of Jeff Eisenberg. You guys are the Suga Commoners. Ball game.
I don't know what that is.
Shoy. Last week's Pasha, Re'ei Karasi B'Shem. Betzalel gets called on B'Shem, by name, to build, to create the Beis HaMikdash. And then Hashem gives him accolades upon accolades. Hashem says, Betzalel has Ruach Elokim, Chochma, Bina, Das. Yes, Chabad. What is this being called B'Shem, by name? And what's with all the accolades? The answer is simple. Let's say Jeff's at home, okay? And he wants one of his kids to give him a drink. Well, you don't call them by name. You'll probably say, hey, someone get me a drink. But what if you need to know a Taisus in the Gemara? Well, then you're going to look to Shmai, and you'll say, Shmai, look up the Gemara in Bava Metzia for me. Not somebody look up in the Gemara in Bava Metzia. Shmai, you learn Gemara. It's your skill. You look it up for me. So there's an imperative of every single Jew to be v'halachta b'drachav, to walk in God's footsteps, in God's path. Mahu racham apato racham, mahu chanon apato chanon. And that's on everybody. But then there's that rare individual that's not only called on to walk in God's path, but to walk b'tzalel, b'tzel kel, in the shadow of God, together with God, as a creator, as an innovator, as a producer. Re'ei karasi b'shem, by name, b'tzalel. This is not for everybody. It's for you, the one with chachma, bina, v'das, and ruach elokim. Rabbi say that's our buddy Jeff. Tzedakah is for everybody. Chesed is for everybody. But then there's that unique name, Jeff Eisenberg, a man of chachma, bina, and das. A man that creates and innovates for Klal Yisrael. A man that doesn't just hand checks. He gets hands-on involved with countless organizations, tzedakahs and mitzvahs, to innovate and create for them. Be it in the area of Yisayim, Almanas, Meis Mitzvah, Torah, Chinuch, Kiruv, absolutely everything. And always behind the scenes. B'tzel kel, in the shadow of God, with God. And a man who's called by name doesn't come out of the blue. He comes from Ben Uri, Ben Hur, Lamata Yehuda. Jeff and Shira come from a lineage on both sides of tremendous Gamle Chesed and pillars of Klal Yisrael. And that's where Jeff comes from. You know, in our weekend Chabura, we have something called the Jeff Doctrine. You see, one weekend I felt that the Chabura was a very small crowd one week, so I called it off. Jeff turned to me a few days later and said, Eli, Torah never stops. If there's just two people, the weekend Chabura is on. Indeed, when it comes to all things Torah and Chesed, Jeff never, ever stops. So Momo and Tamar indeed have a lot to take on. Tamar, we all know how wonderful she is. And Momo, well, I have first-hand knowledge from my son-in-law Ezra. He says you're terrific.
That's second-hand knowledge.
And the Goodstein family have a Shem Tov in the neighborhood. So you guys are already on the way, Baruch Hashem. And you only have bracha, nachas, gezut, and build the bayis Nema B'Yisrael.